Nani ue mina-san, it's your boy, and today I wanted to talk to you about a challenge that I'm putting together, mainly for myself. If you want to jump on, why the heck not? But the idea of it is to increase my knowledge of the Japanese language exponentially. That's spending the rest of the year, that's 100 days from the time of this recording until January 1st, spending 100 days learning and taking advantage of the time that we have left in 2024 so I can enter 2025 in a whole new playing field. Now, the reason why this is happening is mainly because January 1st, 2024, I set myself up a challenge. We don't have to get into it now, but I set myself up a bit of a challenge in which I wanted to spend the rest of the year taking my taking my knowledge of Japanese to the next level. And what did I do? Life got in the way, work got in the way, kids got in the way, everything got in the way, and I wasn't able to buckle down and get as much accomplished as I wanted to. So, listen, I'm being ambitious. These goals are ambitious. I don't have the time to get this done, but I want to set the bar high so I have something to aim for and not set it low. So when I am done, I can just glaze over. So I'm somebody where I need to be able to set the bar high. I come into this knowing, I would say I'm still like JLPT, like low end 5 and 4. I've done some studying, I've done some immersion, but nothing as consistent as I should. And this is coming off and on a Japanese language learning journey. So let me get into it. So, the first thing I'm going to do is do Rocket Japanese. I'm going to do 3 units of Rocket Japanese a day. This, I think, is actually really reasonable. It's kind of like a book, more or less. They have audio lessons, which I think would be rather easy to get some listening and comprehension in. So why not? Why not make sure I get 3 of these in a day? Next, I'm going to be doing 15 kanji a day. Now, this isn't just recognition and recall, or should I say, like this isn't just learning the meaning and the readings. I intend to do this and just being able to recognize the kanji and understand what they mean. Mainly because when I immerse, which I will be doing with reading, or when I'm watching anime or other Japanese media with Japanese subtitles, that I can read along rather easily, or at least have an understanding of what's being said, even if I don't know the vocabulary itself. That's the reason why I'm doing it. But speaking of vocabulary, I will do 25 vocabulary a day. I know, listen, everyone's got their own number. People use Anki. I use a couple of other things. But I think 25 a day is probably as much as I can handle on top of the kanji. And I'll be honest, I'm thinking maybe not so much kanji. But if I focus on my vocabulary, then the kanji will also come. So again, I'm giving myself some grace, but I'm setting my bars really high. The next one is finishing going through 2 Genki units a week. That's, again, really, really high. Probably not as realistic, but the idea isn't to be able to know each and every chapter, like front and back, but it's really to internalize the chapters, listening to Tokini Andy and being able to have a bit of a dialogue and understanding of it, even if it isn't completely solidified. Next up, we have Native Shark. I really, really love Native Shark. And if I do 1 or 2 units a day, I think they recommend, on their track, I think 5 units a week. And they're really, really easy, really digestible. So I feel like doing 1 to 2 a day is completely doable for me. Again, my idea and what I really like to do is to reinforce reinforce the knowledge that I have. So for me, going to do Rocket Japanese and Native Shark and Genki are completely redundant for some people. They don't need to do that many. I don't recommend everyone doing it that way, but I understand the way I learn. So being able to read and interact with the same information in many different ways is really important for me to understand and lock it in. And again, I am going to do a huge emphasis on consuming and immersing. I'm going to say consuming and not so much immersing, because I feel like that gets a bad rep. I don't want to go down that road. I am most certainly not doing AJAT. All Japanese all the time. I'm not doing that. I'm someone who I live in a very busy environment, in a very English environment, so I don't have time to do all Japanese all the time, but I will be constantly consuming Japanese media. Yes, anime, yes, manga, yes, to TV and movies, and that will be my kind of source of immersion, along with my tutoring. I have signed up for 8 hours of tutoring for this entire time, so being able to speak with someone, I've actually had this tutor for a while. I've actually 2 tutors, and one of them really likes to have conversations with me, which I enjoy. It's a bit of a struggle. I sit there with a dictionary and try to piece things together. The other one, we go through Genki stuff. Again, or like getting that knowledge back at me. Not for everybody. Now, I've used all of these, I wouldn't say extensively, but I've used all of these services, and rather soon I'm going to have a bit of a tier list on what I think are really good for people who are beginning. As someone who is still technically at a level of beginning, I feel like I've been learning Japanese for quite a long time, and again, for the type of learner that I am, I know that not all shoes fit the same, right? There's no size fitting all. There's no one size fits all. That's ridiculous. There's no one size fits all for these types of programs. A lot of these, if not all of the things that I use, are paid. Besides, listen, anyways, I'll get into free resources as well. But here's the thing. At the end of it, if I do all of these right, I'll be done entirely with Rocket Japanese. I believe the way that they have it marketed on their website is that Rocket Japanese gives you from N4 to N5 to N4 or N5 to N3, whatever. I'm not taking the JLPT in December, so I'm not really worrying about that. With Kanji, I'll have 1,500 Kanji under my belt, so that will, I think, pretty firmly, if I'm not mistaken, place me at N2. I think N2, if not N3. No, N2. I'll be firmly in N2 Kanji, being able to recognize them, and that's huge. I think that'll be able to increase my reading. Vocabulary, 25,000, 2,500 vocabulary. Now, I already know vocabulary, and I'm not there may be some that I do within this time period that are some that I already know, and that's okay. I want to make sure that I am still seeing these words that I know. I want to make sure that I'm seeing new words. But even if I started from zero, having 2,500 vocabulary under my belt is a huge deal. Especially if you don't forget that we have Genki and Native Shark also teaching you, and Rocket Japanese also teaching you vocabulary. So I'm not going to focus on hardcore remembering those vocabulary, but I am going to make an emphasis on being able to understand, being able to recognize, being able to do the work. Especially with Genki, I'm going to be doing the work and the exercises that they have, the best that I can anyway. But I think before long, especially because I'm already into Genki, before long I will be done. I'll be done with Genki, especially if I keep on my 2 a week. I'll be done with Genki 1 and 2. And if that does happen, I will then move on to quartet, Mina no Nihongo, or something. I'm not sure exactly which one I'll move on to, but I'll move on to something. I'm even thinking of just jumping into the Shinkansen series, but we'll see. I really like Tsukini Andy, and I think he teaches quartet. But anyways. Native Shark, I believe I put complete. That's not right. That's not right at all. Because Native Shark goes into N1. Again, I really, really love them. I'm not obviously not sponsored by them, but I really, really love what they do and how they teach. I don't know why I put complete. I think I'll be at their N3 level, if not N2, like where they estimate someone in their course. They like they have different like levels, so each lesson is a level, but then they have milestones, so each chunk. Anyways, so I won't be complete with Native Shark, but I will be, I believe, at N3, if not N2, and at the end of the 100 days, I would have had 24 hours of tutoring, which is not a lot, I don't think. If I could, honestly, I'll tell you now, if I could, I would have 2 hours of tutoring twice a week. Mainly because I feel like once I get, and it's rather exhausting, but once I get into the hang of our hour, it's time to go. And what feels nice is even when I'm struggling with the teacher who allows me, who just wants to talk about life and just wants to like talk about me, or like, again, trying to get me to speak, that is an exhausting process, but it's a process that I don't have anywhere else. So I'm really hoping that like the audio lessons from Rocket Japanese, or like even like the other immersive stuff that I'll be doing, listening to podcasts or watching videos and all that stuff, will also allow me to speak. I want to be able to speak rather naturally. And I don't know, I haven't played with ChatGPT enough to be able to recommend it to anybody, but I've also had other like chat bots and other programs that have chat bots and stuff like that. But I always feel like, I don't know, it doesn't feel good not talking to people, but that's just my own insecurity coming through. But I'm also going to play with that as I get into this. That said, listen, if you made it this far in the video, please like, subscribe, go on this journey with me. Boy Meets Eats is a love letter to both Japan and Asia in general. And once I conquer enough Japanese, I want to get into Korean and Chinese and really explore the media and the culture in these regions. But if you made it this far, I'll make a deal with you. At the end of this, for every comment on this video, at the end of this, I will pick a random comment and essentially gift you one of these resources. Rocket Japanese, I will eventually unveil what it is I'm using for kanji and vocabulary. I will gift you Genki and the premium Tokini Andy series, or Native Shark, or gift you some hours for tutoring. But that's only if you like, subscribe, and comment on this video. That would be fantastic to know that there are people going on this ride with me. And in the new year, in the first few weeks, I will be sure to make another video. Actually, no, I'll reach out to you directly. And yeah, we can get this going. Anyways, again, thank you so much for watching this video. I don't know what this channel is, if not just a love letter to these countries and cultures that I love so much. So, with that said, peace.